In this video, I am going to give you a short summary of the drama Death and the King's Horseman, which was written by Walt Soyinka. Before moving to the drama, we should know about Walt Soyinka. Walt Soyinka was born in 13 July 1934 and he is a Nigerian playwright, poet and essayist. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1986 and he was the first black African to be honored in that category. Death and the King's Horseman was written in 1975. It is one of Soyinka's most famous plays, set in 1946 before Nigerian independence and while the British were in control of Nigeria. Based on a real story in which the King's Horseman wanted to commit ritual suicide as part of Yoruba tradition, but the British colonial authorities believed the ritual was immoral and had to be prevented. The Yoruba people are an ethnic group that inhabits Western Africa, mainly Nigeria, Benin, Togo and part of Ghana. The vast majority of this population is from Nigeria, making them one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa. Characters of Death and the King's Horseman. First character is Ellison. Ellison is the horseman of the play. He is a vibrant man who loves his life and his role as the king's horseman. Next character is Simon Pilkings. Simon Pilkings is the district officer in the colonial Nigerian city of Oyo. He is self-important, pompous and has no time for the native religious practice which he refers to as nonsense and mumbo jumbo. The third character is Jane Pilkings. Jane Pilkings is Simon Pilkings' wife. She is far more understanding and thoughtful than her husband. Next, the praise singer. The praise singer is a man who accompanies Ellison and acts as his conscience and spiritual guide. Iyaloja is the mother of the market. She has a close and friendly relationship with Ellison and along with the praise singer acts as Ellison's moral compass and a conscience of thoughts. Sergeant Amusa. Amusa is a native Nigerian man who converted to Islam several years before the action of the play. Olinde is Ellison's oldest son and therefore is the next in line to become the king's horseman. The bride is the beautiful young woman who is engaged to Iyaloja's son. The resident is the man Ebo Pilkings in the rank of colonial officials in Nigeria. The prince, the visiting prince of England, though he doesn't speak, he appears to enjoy the costume ball in his honor. The next character is Aide de Camp. Another colonial official, Pilkings referred to him as Bob at several points. Joseph is the houseboy for Simon and Jane. He is a minor character in the drama. Next we are moving to the plot summary of the drama Death and the King's Horseman. The play opens with Ellison and his praise singer entering the marketplace. Ellison is traveling there to see the woman on the eve of his death, for he was the king's horseman who, now that the king has died, must also die and travel to the afterlife with him. Ellison is an expansive, friendly and energetic man and he and the praise singer banter back and forth. The women, including the mother of the marketplace, Iyaloja, arrive and watch and listen. Ellison boasts of how he is not afraid of death and is prepared for his fate. When the women call him a man of honor, Ellison takes on an air of mock anger. He tells them his attire is not very honorable and relieved they help garb him in beautiful clothing. Before Ellison moves on, he notices an incredibly beautiful young woman and proclaims that he wants her. Iyaloja and the woman are conflicted because she is betrothed to Iyaloja's son. Nevertheless, they give Ellison what he wants, and a wedding and consummation are scheduled before his ritual death. Iyaloja wants Ellison to keep his goal in mind and leave no curse with his seed. District officer and his wife Jane prepare to attend a gala. Gala means festival. They are dressed in the clothing of the Egungun, taken from the rituals of a Nigerian death cult. They find the costumes amusing while they frighten the local Nigerian constable Amusa. Pilkins, a typical Englishman in colonial Africa, is annoyed by Amusa's reluctance to talk to him while he is wearing the costume. Amusa does convey his message, which is that he has heard that Ellison, a local chief, is preparing to kill himself for the ritual. Jane is horrified and Pilkins groans that he thought this sort of things was stamped out. They hear the drums in the distance and wonder if this is what is truly going on. Pilkins called in his house by Joseph, a Nigerian who recently converted to Christianity. He asks about his chief and the ritual, and the Joseph confirms what will happen. Pilkins recalls that he has clashed with this man Ellison before as he helped secure the passage of his son Olinde to England where he would study to be a doctor. Ellison had been incredibly angry and Olinde was more or less smuggled out. It is also true that the rules of the ritual state that if Ellison could not perform the suicide for some reason, that his elder son would have to complete it. Jane giggles that might be the reason why the chief was angry his son left. Pilkins tries to decide to intervene or not, and Jane encourages him to do so as she thinks it sounds barbaric. Pilkins instructs Joseph to take a note to Amusa, ordering him to arrest Ellison. Pilkins and Jane prepare to go to the ball. Ball means dance party. And he tells his wife that a special guest, the prince, will be there tonight. Back in the marketplace, Amusa and two constables arrive to arrest Ellison. The girls and the woman viciously taunt them and they leave, warning that they will be back. Ellison triumphantly exits from his consummation of his wedding with the bride and begins to prepare for death. He announces that he is eager to make his journey. His dancing and speech are accompanied by the praise singers chanting. Ellison's eyes droop, his movements become heavy, and his trance deepens. It seems as if Ellison is sinking deeper and coming close to death. At the party, the prince greets the revelers. The resident and the residents' aide-de-camp assist him. The prince admires the Pilkins costumes. The resident talks to Pilkins privately and admonishes him for not knowing about this Ellison situation earlier. Amusa brings word to Pilkins about the arrest of Ellison but is still nervous about talking to Pilkins because of the costume. Pilkins, frustrated, relieves him from duty. Pilkins leaves to take care of the affair. Jane notices a man waiting in the wings. It is Olinde, newly returned from England. He is smart, reserved, and composed. They exchange pleasantries, but the conversation becomes tense when Jane says she does not understand the ritual and thinks it is crass. She is especially confused when Olinde says that he came home to bury his father as soon as he heard the king died. She comes across as very naive but calms down a bit and tries to genuinely understand. Pilkins returns, urgently asking for the aide-de-camp. He sees Olinde and is surprised. He acts awkwardly. After he turns away and begins to take care of things, Jane and Olinde wonder if Ellison's death could be causing this apparent turmoil. Suddenly, Ellison's voice booms across the hall as he is brought in, bound and struggling. Ellison sees his son and stops short. He begs him to heed him, but Olinde turns away in disgust and calls him an eater of leftovers. Ellison is put into prison. The bride sits silently outside his cell. Pilkins visit him and they speak for a bit, disputing what the notion of duty means. Ellison claims that his son did not betray him and that his disgust was warranted. Olinde was indisputably his son. Eulogia wants to visit Ellison and Pilkins reluctantly lets her in. She scolds and condemns Ellison for being a coward and not going through with his death. She and the other woman feel betrayed. She tells him angrily. Ellison is chastened and mournful. The woman from the marketplace marched to the jailhouse, carrying a burden wrapped in cloth. Jane counsels Pilkins to let them in because she assumes they are affiliated with Ollende, who would do no harm. The women enter, put down their burden, and Ellison begins to clamor to get out of the cell. Pilkins confused and refuses. The praise singer chants and condemns Ellison as well. The burden is unwrapped. It is Ollende who has committed suicide to carry out his father's duty. Swiftly, Ellison strangles himself before Pilkins can stop him. Eulogia barely tells Pilkins not to interfere and stops him from stooping to close the chief's eyes. The bride does this silently and the two depart. The women chant and sway. That's the end of the plot summary of the drama Death and the King's Horseman, written by Walt Soyinka. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye.